right, everyone. Welcome to another live demonstration from Coleman & Company. My name is Mark, and I'm here to talk to you about making t-shirts. That's it. We're going to make a design just like this, and this is a glitter and opaque white design, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you how this works using the Cut and Press custom t-shirt system, which is a package that we've put together of some of the greatest and best products that you can buy to get started using heat transfer materials. And it's a system that opens up a world of so many other things. And in the end, I'll bring out a few other samples and examples of things you can do essentially with this system, just buying different accessories for it. So what is the cut and press system? Who are we? We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to turn on a screen share, and we're going to watch my computer screen and some different things you can see there, and some different things that we can do with the accessories on this system and the other things that we sell, and also how we help you get your business started and up and running. So let's do it. Let's do it. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm going to turn the screen on. When these transitions happened 2 or 3 times throughout this live web demonstration, you might lose the video or the screen for a second. You might lose audio for 5 seconds. You might lose video for 10 seconds. During the initial transition, I won't do anything, drastic or amazing. So if you lose it, don't panic just yet. Just wait, or click away from the screen and click back. Click on the little blue snowflake at the bottom of your screen. That's the GoToWebinar software. So do all of that, and you should be fine. And if there are any major issues, or if you have questions or anything at all, there's a little question box. Click on it. It's a little speech bubble. Click on it and type away. Ask whatever you want, as many times as you want, as often as you want, and I will get to them either right away or when I take some breaks as I see the questions pop up. So I'm going to turn the camera off now, and we're going to turn on the screen share, and we'll get going from here. I am recording this, so I'm going to make sure the recording is all started. If you need to share it with anyone afterwards, or watch it again, or maybe see something that you missed during it, then this will be a great time. If you show up late and you're not hearing this right now, you will get to see it in the recording as well. So let's just start off with who we are, just so you understand what the cut and press system is, what are the pieces to this puzzle. So we are Coleman & Company. Again, my name is Mark, as I mentioned, and we help people get started in the custom apparel business. We help you start a t-shirt business. We help you grow if you bought a commercial machine, like a commercial embroidery machine, a direct-to-garment printer, a rhinestone setting machine, a spangle machine. We try to help you get all the supplies you need to keep going. We also try to provide as much content as possible so you can learn this stuff, get better, and also improve your business. So let me show you a couple things and how we do that. For one is where you started right now. The CAS webinars page. Okay, this page is demonstration after demonstration after demonstration. At any given point in time, we'll have some 2 to 10, listed on this page. So we've got new things coming up, making patches and applying them to a hat, using mixed media, using the brush and bake system, which uses this cutter as well to create rhinestone templates. Tonight we're doing something on different options for bling. So very informative on what's new, what's interesting, or just how-tos. We also have a podcast, and you can reach us by going to our website, clicking on listen, and that'll take you to our podcast. That's our internet radio show. It's myself and a gentleman named Mark Stevenson. You may have seen him in other videos if you've watched our things before. But this is something for your business to help you get started and grow. A ton of information we've learned and researched and studied over the years in the custom apparel and small business industry. So how to choose the right equipment, how to create a checklist for your new business, how to set up your accounting correctly, how to do marketing, how to do sales, how to use email marketing. All of these things, we go over all of it, and there's over 30 hours worth of audio that will help you improve your business at no charge. And then lastly is our Facebook page. Okay, on Facebook, just type in, custom apparel startups. So this is our Facebook page. You type in Custom Apparel Startups, click join if you're not already a member. We're about to peak at 3,000 members, so we're growing every single day. We share information about us, people ask questions, where to buy supplies, troubleshooting, tips, tricks, outsourcing work, everything. So we do a ton of things on this as well. So all of these are part of the resources that we do to help you grow and start your business. But now we're talking about the cut and press system. So I'm going to click on Learn More here. If you go to the cut and press page, you can watch another demo. This is a different demonstration that we've done. You can download a free ebook if you want to read some information on how to start your business. And we've got different packages and a bunch of FAQs. The essentials of this package, okay, are going to be a cutting plotter, a heat press, software, and vinyl materials. So let me just give you a little demo on our website here of some of the information on how we help you with the cutter portion of it. So if we go to our Graphtec cutters page, here's where we have the cutters, the 2 cutters that we offer now, and a few accessories. This is about what you need for your cutter over time. That's what's cool about it. It's not a complex machine. You will replace blades every so often, depending on how often you're cutting. There's a holder for the blade, which will wear and tear over time. And there's a little cutting strip that will wear out over time. So these aren't expensive parts, and they last a really long time for what they are. So you've cut hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shirts when you're replacing these parts, which is awesome because it's easy to maintain. So we sell all the materials for that. On the software side, we've got demonstrations that we've created. You can watch it. And then we've got a whole nother slew here that are directly from the manufacturer of the cutter on how to do things. So how to do advanced editing, how to edit objects, basic operations, how to install and set up the software. You can download the software that we're going to use today for free right on this page. You just click, you go to the top of our page, heat transfer supplies, and click on the Graphtec cutters. And that's going to take you right to this page. You can download this software for Mac and Windows. Very cool. People ask that all the time. Will this work on my Mac? Yes, it absolutely will, and it's just as easy on either system, honestly. I've used them in both. It's the same thing, just as easy. So there's a ton of information. You can sit on this one page alone for hours and read and learn. So, and then you can click here and get back to the business starter kits. The kits that we have are designed to get you up and running quick and fast and easy. And the first thing that it gets started with is the software. And that's what we're going to go into right now. So thanks for paying attention to this part. It's important. And let's go over to the software. So this is Graphtec Studio. And here's some of the design, the beginnings of the artwork. And I'm going to talk about what we did here and how we got here. So Graphtec Studio. This is unique about the cut and press system, about Graphtec. They give you, at no additional charge, you actually don't even have to buy their system to get this software. The software is for free, and it's designed to work exclusively with this machine, but you can actually get into it and look at it ahead of time, and you can see and do what I've done in this demonstration right away. This is everything that you need to be able to create custom t-shirts, stickers, tote bags if you want to do. Anything you can think to do. You can use a pen tool to create drawings actually with this thing. There's so many things you can do, all from this software. You can create art from scratch. You can grab art off the internet. There is so much that it does. You don't need to buy anything else. Don't spend extra money if you don't own CorelDRAW or Adobe Illustrator or anything like that. Don't bother with it. You don't need it in the beginning. It's debatable if you ever need it. Honestly, there's definitely a debate out there if you ever need anything more than this, depending on what your business does. As you grow and change, you might decide you need to get heavier into graphics. But when you're cutting vinyl materials and heat transfer materials, this does it all for you, and it communicates directly with the machine. It works really easy. So let's talk a little bit more about this software and what we did here, okay? So let's go to our design page. This is our design page. So what I had here is I had this disco ball graphic, and at one point in time, it was all one color and one big piece. So I'm just going to turn it back into that real quick. I'm going to reverse out what I did. So this is what I started with. Actually, it was more like this. So this is basically the piece of artwork that I started with. You can do a JPEG image. You can start with a bitmap or a JPEG image or an EPS graphic file. There's tons of files that you can open up and get into with this. You can open up all different types of file types. So we'll go here just to take a brief look. You can open up all of these types of files with this software and turn it into something that you can cut. So how do you do that? All right. For one, this is a vector graphic file. So with a vector graphic file, essentially what I'm doing is I am removing any fill color from it. If it's not already a compound path, I'll turn it into a compound path. And that basically means it's a whole bunch of paths, a whole bunch of lines that are all connected into one piece. You see, this is one big piece. However, we're going to turn this into a two-color design. So let me show you how I do that. People ask, how can I do multiple colors? And it's almost hard to explain because it's so easy. There's not much to it. We release the compound, meaning that we take this and we make it a whole bunch of different pieces. Okay, and we can take whatever pieces that we want, say the stars, and I'm just going to individually grab the ones that I want to change the color on. And I'll make these black. Well, I don't want to fill them. Let me choose my line color. There we go. Make these lines black. Now I'm also going to take these internal blocks that are kind of doubled. I'm going to do the same thing on these. And I'm just grabbing them one at a time. And this is what you would do with any design. If you were doing, say, a cheer shirt, and you wanted, you know, the EE in the middle to be a different color than the CH and the R, you just grab those letters and change the colors of them. We're not really doing much change in the art right now. We're just taking some of the lines and changing their color for the sake of what we're going to do later. Okay, we've not physically changed anything in the artwork yet. We're just essentially like tagging these, you know, to be a different color. So later on, we can maybe do something different if we want to. And it's a maybe and an if, because we don't have to. We haven't changed the artwork yet. So now we've got this, and I'm going to add some text as well. So let me just grab this whole thing and move it up. And then let's do text. Text is just about as easy as putting text into anything else. Type it in. If I select the text that I picked, I can go through and I can pick a different font. Any fonts that you've got on your computer are going to show up here. You don't have to install anything special. You don't have to buy specific. Oh, this font's actually kind of cool for this. I'm probably going to do this one, maybe. No, no, I don't want to do this one. Although it is cool, it's like a more electric party. I want something that's got a little bit of. I like this one. This is the one we'll do. So anyway, that's it. You can see how things are. I'm going to do this the same color as the stars. So that, again, I'll just go in there. I'll make this. So I've made this a two-color design in a way. Okay, it doesn't have to be a two-color design yet, though, because we haven't cut anything. The cutter, the Graphtec cutter, is it's colorblind. It doesn't matter or care what color is in the machine. It just cares that something is in the machine and how big is it. And that's what we will work on together. I can also adjust the size of the canvas that I'm working with. So if I know that I want this design to be about a 9x9 image, I can work with, say, a 10x10 canvas, or say 12x12. I'll do it by 12x12. So 12x12. Okay, so I've got a 12x12 canvas to work with. I'll select all. That's everything. Okay. Now, there's a bunch of other things you can do in here just to show you a few other things. If we wanted to add, say, some more stars, there's a whole bunch of shapes in here. Everything from Christmas trees to arrows to airplanes to stars. So And we can select the star, and I can drop a star in there. I can also say that, well, all the stars in this are 4-point stars, and they're all kind of pointy. And it's actually, I want this one to face this direction. No, too big. I want it to be there. Okay, so you can see what we can do here and how we can manipulate and edit things pretty easily. We can add our own to the artwork. We can also just do something as simple as copy and paste and drop another one. So all that's really easy. You saw the lettering, that's simple. If I don't like a piece of this artwork, say I wanted to get in and adjust, say, one of these letters. Oh, I love the way that this looks, but I wish, I wish that the top of this S was straight. I mean, whatever your heart desires in your artwork, you can do anything you want through grabbing points, So I can go here, and I've got all these points, and I can drag them around, move them, adjust them, stretch them out. I can do whatever I want. So you can manipulate the artwork very easily with this software. You don't have to be a graphic artist to figure that out. If you've got sloppy artwork, it's got some cool auto correction stuff in it, so I can go into this points, and it's got all these points. I can click this simplify. If I click simplify, it's going to attempt to simplify the artwork, make it easier to cut for you, make it cut faster. So it's not that hard. And I don't want folks to be intimidated by the software side of it. You'll get used to it. You just play with it. Just open it up and play with it. And there's a ton of videos online to learn how to do it. I just showed you where to find them all. So you can watch them all ahead of time, even before you invest if you wanted to. But so here's essentially our t-shirt design. I'll just show you one other thing. Let's just go to the internet. Let me just show you if you needed, say, a disco dancer. Oh, was that enough? I missed the word there. There we go. So let's just say, I only put disco dancer, but Google's smart enough to know what I meant. Okay, so I'm going to pick a silhouette. For the sake of example, this will be fine for the sake of example. So I'm just going to save this image. I'll save it to my desktop. Just so I want to show you what you can do with a graphic that was literally just handed to you. Whether you got it online or someone said, oh yeah, just go to my website, my logo's on there, right? Or whatever it might be. If somebody pointed you to an image online, whatever it is, you can work with most images and really make them look cool. So here we go. Here's our disco image. So this is kind of a small image, right? It's not very big. It's 1 inch tall. But if this is going to be on a t-shirt, you know what? It would need to be larger, right? It would need to be maybe something like this. This is not ready to go, though. I can't turn this into a compound path. It's not lines. It's just a JPEG image. So what can I do about that? Well, there's a trace function in here, too. So I can select an area to trace. And then there's all these filters that you can adjust, and you can turn on and off, and adjust things according to get the artwork just where you want it to be with the exact trace. This one's kind of the automatic, essentially did it almost perfect. So this yellow is what it's going to trace. And you literally click trace. And we've got our lines ready to cut out of a t-shirt. And we can go in here and we can cut part of these up. We can adjust that finger. If it didn't look right, maybe the back of this artwork right here didn't look that great, you can delete that out. So it's not too hard to mess with. And it's actually, it's fun and easy once you get in there and you decide that, hey, I want to start learning how to do this. To practice, just go on the internet and find JPEG images. Just copy and paste stuff off of websites and just play with it. Get into the software. That's how a ton of people have learned it, is really a practice makes perfect. But I wanted to show you that so I could take this and we could do the same thing. We could add artwork. Dance Party 2016. Right? And of course, you can adjust the size of this just like anything else. You can go in here and adjust individual points. And look at all these points that we can adjust, you know, and move and delete and change and twist around. So there's a ton of cool things we can do. For example, that weird one on the end, you could literally just delete it out that way. And that's almost fixed, but not even really trying yet. You know, we just needed a bit more. So it's cool. I like this software a lot, and it's free, right? I mean, that's what's so cool. They know it's good enough. They know their equipment's good enough, and I do that. I'm like, you know, I want to see it's free on the website. I want people to use it. I want everything to be transparent because this is unlike anything else, any other that you're going to buy. None are going to be as good. And I feel 100% confident saying that between the software and the machine itself. So let's move on to the next part, which was we're going to start to cut this vinyl, right? So I'm going to move into this page size right here, okay? What's very cool about this and a fairly unique function is they have this automatic, okay? So it's automatic to the CE6000, which is the machine I've got plugged into this right now. And it automatically measures that the piece I have in there and the rollers and everything, I've got 13.5 inches that I can cut, right? And it's 1,200 inches long. You know, I had it marked for a full roll. You can adjust this as well. You know, you can still move it and it turns into a custom, but you've got this automatic function. What does that mean? I can take a 3-inch, 2-inch size sliver of this. If I needed to just do the disco party words, and add a 2-inch size sliver, I can fit that on my scraps. I can use my scrap pieces for the sake of not only saving money, but practicing, learning, creating samples for people, whatever it might be. I can use all these scraps. I don't have to take out a ruler. I don't have to guess on the size. Is it going to fit? Is it going to go? Is the machine just going to start cutting empty space? No, the software does it all for you. It just tells you. You put in a little scrap piece, and I'll show you. I'll show you on the software side now. Let me go to get a scrap piece, and you're going to see what it does. Then I'm going to do it. I'm going to flip back when we go to the video again, and this way you can see exactly what I did. But I'm going to I just threw a scrap piece in there, and I hit load, and we'll see what's going to happen. It's going to sync. Boom, it doesn't fit, okay? It tells me, okay, if you put in a bunch of scrap pieces, this is what you could do. You know, you can cut this one, and then you can cut that one, you can cut that one, etc. But this design doesn't fit on there. If I choose automatic here, you know, it would show me that the design doesn't fit. So you can create your artwork based on the size that you have. Also, I can see clearly that the word disco party would fit in there. Disco and then party underneath it. So I can even stack that up, cut them out separately and use them, especially if you're low on material or whatever it might be. So it's so cool that it communicates. In addition to that, you can do all this other stuff in here. You can go in there and you can go into advanced options and you can say, after the cut job, feed the rollout 2 inches. Right? You can make copies. If you say, well, I'm actually going to cut out 20 of these, you can just send 20 copies over, and then it'll one, and then one, and one, and one. You can tell it to pause and return to origin. You can adjust all the settings. There's so many things in here that you can do. You can adjust the size. So say, well, I need this little, I just want to make a mini version of this as a little sample for somebody. What if I drop it down to 20% of its size? Will it fit then? Will it fit in this scrap piece? You know, it would. Actually, I can do more. So I can cut out a mini version of this just as a scrap piece, just as a concept, or maybe I just want to do some mini versions. You want to do a full back and a left chest size of this disco party shirt. So there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do. I love it. So now that I've shown you, I think, enough on the software. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to switch back, and I'm going to show you how the roll in the scrap piece and what I did and how it measured it. And we'll mess with that now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the camera pointed right at the cutter because we're going to spend just maybe 5 minutes here. All right. So, screen off, camera on. All right, this is the time to not panic if you don't see it right away. Especially if your internet connection isn't really fast, it might take a minute. If it doesn't come up after 30 seconds or a minute or so, you know, click on the blue snowflake icon, click away, click back, something to that effect. And worst case, you can log out and log back in, but it should connect to you. So right now we're looking at the Graphtec. This is the CE6000-40. This is a desktop model, so it's 15-inch. It's a 15-inch cutter. Basically, that's how wide it will cut. The whole thing's about 20 or so inches, so it'll fit on just about any desktop. You don't need a large workstation to get this thing up and running. You can also get a 24-inch version of this. It'll cut 24 inches of vinyl, and that comes with its own stand. That's a very cool unit too. They work exactly the same though, which means that this control panel up top. Let me just move this so you can get a better shot. There we go. I'm trying to get it without too much glare for you, but there's a bunch of glare. There we go. If I give you that, you can see it well. But anyway, this control panel right here, it's the same for the smaller unit and the larger unit. It operates the same. The functionality is the same. Really, the biggest difference is the bigger unit is bigger. The bigger unit is faster, and it comes with a stand. I mean, those are the biggest ones to really be concerned about. So let's talk about this for a minute and this cutter and a little bit about it. So Graphtec is the brand. They are the leading brand in the industry. There's not really much of an argument about that. If you've seen on any forum or anywhere anybody asking about what cutter should I get, has anyone used a Graphtec cutter? What do you think you'd like? You'll get comments like, "Oh yeah, I've had this other brand, it's good. Oh, but the Graphtec's the best," you know, or "Oh, absolutely, I own a Graphtec, I love it." I mean, that's what the comments consistently are. I've seen hundreds of them all over the internet, all over forums, and I've experienced it with the customers that own it. They are a top brand, so you're going to get an awesome unit. The software is only part of why people love it, but a few other things to mention. For one, this machine can do really small lettering. And when I say really small, let me show you. I have a dime today, so I get to show you for size. So this is the size lettering that you can do. I mean, you know, perfect with this machine. So you're not going to get that with a cheaper cutter. You're not going to get that with a lesser unit. It's just not going to have the capability. It's not going to have the accuracy. The rollers and the functionality and the strength of it is just not going to be able to do it. You also get a 2-year warranty comes with this unit. 1 year out of the box, a second year when you register your warranty with them. You've got all types of presets. So right now it's set to glitter, as you can read up there. If I hit here, I can set it to opaque. If I go this way, I can have it set to sticker and sign vinyl. So I can preset and save all of these right in the cutter itself. We're going to be using glitter today, so I'll put a pack on that. The operation is simple. This is really the only adjustment you make, is you unscrew this blade, you twist this top part more or less, depending on how thick your material is, and you put it back. And then you run a little test to make sure that it's cutting the way you want it to cut. And the test is simple too. You hit the test button and it runs your test for you. And that's basically it. It does work with Mac and PC. So people ask that all the time. Does it work with both? Both. Absolutely it does. Very fluidly and easily, all with the software they provide. Does it work with Adobe Illustrator and Corel Draw? So if you do have that and you are used to that software and you're not interested in learning anything new, you can download Cutting Master. And Cutting Master is the plugin for that. Another free piece of software. The speed. This one is going to go at 30 inches per second. Inches per second. Per second. So imagine, imagine a foot long, right? That's less than a second to move that. It's fast. It's very fast. The larger unit's a little bit faster, does an extra 5 inches per second. And the last little thing that I like to mention about it specifically is there is an optical sensor in here. So what does that mean? That means if you have a printer that if you wanted to print something and then put it on here and cut it out, you can actually use the optical sensor to see registration marks. You can also use the optical sensor to figure out how big this is. So let me show you how this swaps out and what I did earlier. I'm just going to do the opposite of what I did before. So I'm going to take this piece out. This is, by the way, that little scrap piece we were talking about. I'm going to take a roll. This is a silver glitter. This is onyx, actually. Yes, this is onyx. So this feeds through just like this. All right? You line it up straight. You move your push rollers out. They just need to be under these blue lines. That's how you know. I line it up straight with these line marks right here to know that it's straight, and I lock it into place. Then the screen right here is going to say, do you want the roll, the front edge of the roll, or do you have a little sheet? If you have a little sheet, which I had before, I hit number 3, but I have a roll, so I'll hit number 1. It's going to use that optical sensor to read the width of the vinyl. Then it's going to spin it right to the front. Boom, ready to cut. This is ready to cut. There's no guesswork. My software is an automatic, which means that it knows that everything is going to be cool. It knows everything's fine. It knows that I'm actually just syncing it up right now. Okay, yeah, so it knows that this is ready to cut. I'm just going to check the size of my artwork because we're going to cut it out in a minute. I have it at 8 inches. I'm actually just going to beef it up to about 9.2. Okay? So, what do we do next then that we're ready to cut? So, I had 2. I'm going to put it back on the screen real quick, just so you can see. Okay. So, we have 2 colors right here, right? I'm going to go in. First things first, we need to cut this in a mirror image, okay? When you cut on heat transfer vinyl, you're cutting on the back side of it, so we cut a mirror of it. Software just does it automatically. I just tell it that I want that to do that, and it's going to do everything for me. You don't have to adjust my artwork. Then I'm just going to cut the big disco ball portion of it. This is the silver part. The other part's going to be white. So I just turn that off. So you can see my artwork wasn't changed. All I'm doing now is that tag that I created. This is my red part. This is my black part. I could cut them all at once. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't change anything in how the machine performs. But I can just tell it, don't bother with that part. Okay? And then I can just push that down to the corner, and we're going to send it over to the cutter. To send it to the cutter, we let it sink. It's always going to make sure everything is good. It's going to make sure that your design fits in the spot. It's going to check to make sure the cutter is in ready mode, and then you can send it over to the cutter. So before I send it to the cutter, I'll put it on video. All I'm going to do after I put it on video is click send to cutter. So we got the video back on. Okay, and I'm going to hit send to cutter. We'll watch it do its magic. This isn't even close to its top speed. I usually slow it down a little bit for the demos and for the glitter because it blasts through it so quick you can't even see it working. But this is about a third the speed, and it's going to be done in less than a minute. And that's all those little boxes it's cutting right now. So the blade goes up and spins around, and the rollers feed it in and out, and that's what it's doing. And then when it's done, here we go. We're cutting a big circle around. If you can remember it, then it's done. Boom. And now it's set to go. It's set to go back to origin for this design. So it goes back to your origin. There's benefits to doing that or not. Are you cutting out different things in the same material? Are you switching between the pen tool and the cut tool that you want it to go back to the origin, or do you want it to just feed out? But either way, let me show you what we do next. So we can just push the material out like this. We can hit fast and make it go out really fast. And I'm just looking for that top edge. And I can see it right there. You can see it even in the camera there. There's the top edge of my design. Here's also where you can tell it, say, automatically spit out 2 inches, and it'll spit it out. I didn't save that. In hindsight, I would have. So now we'll just cut this. And we've got this, and we're going to get ready to put this on a shirt. We'll do this part next. But now we need to cut out the white part. So let me show you how we do that switch. We push this lever down in the back here. It releases the rollers. We'll take this. We put this away. Oh. Listen to that. We've had disco playing in the background this whole time. You probably heard some of it. But we got village people now. YMCA. I did say I wasn't going to dance, so that hasn't changed yet. Okay, so we have our white vinyl in. We do the same thing as before. We line it up with the rollers. We make it straight here on the edge. Lock it in place. Tell it that it's a roll. Let it do that portion of it. What do I do next? I need to adjust this blade. I know from doing this a lot that it's about 180 degrees, a little over, like 190 degrees to go from the glitter to the opaque. So I will just spin it around about that. How do I know it's right? We test it, right? Hit the test. Run my little triangle test. I'll cut real quick. I'll use my little pick. Will my triangle pick out fine? It does, right? You can see that. And there's a little square around it. I'll check that too. Does that come out fine? Did it cut through my vinyl? Ooh. It made a little etch in there. It's a little bit much, so I'm going to take a little bit more off. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to move it over here. And I feel good about that. That feels much better. But if you need to adjust that, you can actually just keep going. You can hit enter and then do another one. And hit enter and do another one. Hit enter and do another one. Okay? We can also adjust a few other things on the machine itself. Let me show you here. So I can go into this area function, right? And I can say rotate. Okay, rotate is set to on right now. I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to rotate this design. Okay, I can go to mirror. Now mirror is on, right? But we told it to mirror before in the software, right? So I can have the machine mirror it, or I can have my software mirror it, right? So right now I've got rotate off, and I've got mirror off. All right. The reason that it's off in the machine, I was doing some different work before. I was showing folks how you can do it on the machine as well. So I can actually, what I could have done is I could have left it all the same in the software and done it in the machine. I mean, there's really no reason why to pick, one way or the other way. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever's easier or faster or simpler for you. I personally like doing it all in the Graphtec software. So I do see a question pop up. I'm going to answer that before we cut this. Wanda said you didn't have video. If you don't have video at this point in time, Again, click on the blue snowflake icon on the bottom. Click away from this software. Click on your desktop, then click back. If you still don't have it, I would just close it and then just click the link in your email again and get back into it. So hopefully that'll work for you. We are recording it so you can watch it later for anything that you might have missed. But now we're set, right? We're set for this. We're set for the next. I need to just go ahead and switch it from glitter over to opaque. And that adjusts how hard this pushes down and how fast it moves and a couple other things. Let's give you a different angle and a different shot here for this. So let's send this to the cutter. I'm going to go on my computer right here. I'm going to switch it from the red lines to the black lines. And also, by the way, we're cutting red and black in the software, but it doesn't matter for the vinyl we have in there. It doesn't make a difference. Normally, I would make it a white and gray just to remember for the sake of saving it and remembering it for later. But there's some videos on how to use the design, the studio in here where you can actually save that stuff. So let's go ahead and send this to the cutter. I'm just going to make one adjustment since I cut out some stuff. I'm just going to move it over a little bit so I don't accidentally cut over that triangle. And now let's send it to the cutter. So as you can see, this one's moving faster, right? And I have this set up on a speed of 30. The last one was running at 20. So you can see the difference in the speed for sure. And there we go. The other way we can do it besides, we can push this to feed it out. I can also, if I know I'm done, I can just flop that open there and just pull it out and cut it there, or give yourself room if you prefer to use scissors. I actually just like to use a razor blade or a letter opener, and like this. That's my favorite way of doing it, and I'll just grab it like this. Let me cut that piece out, and this is ready to go. And you can kind of see where it's cut a little bit on camera. In person, it's pretty clear. But on camera, the lighting and everything, this is a reflective material. So now let's move over. Excuse my reach here. So what am I going to do first, okay? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to save any scrap pieces. Since I'm working with one piece, I'm going to save this side piece. Because this is, again, this is usable. And, just one thing just to be clear on it all. I'm talking to you a lot when I'm doing this. I'm going slow. When I'm doing this by myself, earlier today when I made this test shirt for this, I was done in less than 5 minutes. Literally from design to shirt. It's fast and simple. But how do we weed this stuff? How do we get what we don't want? It's easy. I'll show you. You get a little pick tool. You get it started in a corner. There we go. So there's our big chunk out of there. And let's get her inside out. There we go. This is not hard. There was not effort in that. Okay, if you hear or you say, oh, weeding is the worst part. I don't like the weeding. Weeding is hard. It's a pain to do. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, 2 things. One is sometimes you just need to adjust your designs a little bit differently. So, and that's just art conceptualization, thinking about that. But more so, you're probably using cheap vinyl. You're probably not using good vinyl, and it does not no matter what the name of it is, it doesn't mean that it is easy to weed it. Good vinyl, good brand of vinyl is huge for how easy it is to weed and how easy it is to press. It is just like anything else. Okay, if you like to cook, you know the difference between a KitchenAid stand mixer and a cheap one. If you like coffee, you know the difference between a good French press and something really inexpensive. If you're a car person, you know the difference between, say, 93 and 87 fuel, especially if you drive a fast car. All of these things are exactly the same thing across the board. Cooking fresh vegetables versus something, frozen. You know all those differences. There's nothing different about that with vinyl, literally. So if you are buying a cheap vinyl, then you are going to get cheaper results. It's going to be more work for you. It's not, let me get rid of this one. It's going to be more work for you. It's going to be harder to weed. You're going to have to concentrate more in the weeding. You're not really going to be talking live on camera while weeding and expecting everything to come out okay. And also, second, is a cheap cutter is not going to be as consistent across the board on its cuts. All right, it's not going to be as reliable, so you're going to be nervous. As you're pulling this, you're going to be like, oh, is it getting in here? It's going to start lifting up letters where it shouldn't lift up, and that's because that blade did not go down perfect every single time. You're going to be missing pieces. Now let's get out all the little extra stuff. Let me flip that. I like to use the little side of this thing. There we go. And get as close to the corner of these little pieces you can, and the whole thing will lift out. There we go. There we go. Here's a piece that I got stuck back on there. Have a little garbage can on the side. That's the best thing. A tip for this, the biggest mistake people do is trying to do it all, too close. And then you try to do it all too close and you end up with these stuck-on pieces of vinyl that end up on your shirt that don't belong there. Now we just need to get the couple little letters that have little cutouts in them on this particular font. The inside of the D, the inside of the O, the inside of the A, the inside of the P, and then we're done. So we've got this white one done, and we've got the silver one, and we can get a visual of what our shirt's going to look like. Which way am I? Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to recut this. I am going to have to recut this really quick, so you're going to get to see me cut it again, because I had it on mirror before. So I actually mirrored one and did not mirror the other one. So let's just cut it out really quick. No big deal. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to peel off these pieces that transferred over that I don't want when I was showing you. And this is right. How do I know this is right? Because I can read the words. The other one is not right. So let's just do it real quick. It's really fast. So now we get a demo of just doing it real quick. Take that out. Pop the new one in, line it up, switch it to do a roll front edge. Switch it to the glitter preset, adjust my blade out about 190 or so degrees from the spot where it was before. If you want to be extra safe, you do a cut test just to be sure. I mean, I know this one's going to be fine. I'm 99% sure, but I'll do it anyway. Don't want to make another mistake. Cut test comes out fine. Hit enter. Menu. I'll move it over just away from there so everything is fine. Go in my software. And now I'm going to tell it to recut that globe. I cut it the wrong way. It's fine. I'm going to tell it to feed the cut job out afterwards. And then now, let's cut it out. Busy, ready, send it to the cutter. watch it cut again. And here's the finish. Boom. Now it feeds it out, right? And then I can take this and I can just cut across. And I always verify, you know, am I in the right spot? Yeah. I'll just cut straight across. Make sure I don't cut too close to that globe. And let's scoot it back over. Grab my scissors. I'm going to keep this scrap piece. Now this just so happens to be the size of this garment. You know, the size of this garment just happens to be where I had a bunch of these pieces left over. They'll be used. I use them all the time. And let's go ahead and peel this up. I'm just going to use my hands this time. There we go. Very easy. It's simple. And please tell me this is right. Otherwise, I'm going to feel silly. There we go. That looks like the t-shirt I wanted to create, right? Let's put it on. Let's make it. Let's do it. So we've got our two pieces here. What I like about this is you can visually get a look of what this is going to be before you're putting it anywhere near your shirt. So let's get over to our heat press. Reach over. And where's my tee? Here's my t-shirt. This is how we do this. I'm going to come around to the front. This is a swing away 14-inch press. Very simple, easy to use heat press. This comes in the standard kind of cut and press kit that we put together. I think it's a great little starter one for the price and size and money and what it can do. It's awesome. However, you can get any other option you want when you're ready to start your business. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of Teflon. You can use release paper. We have matte finish paper. This is mainly we do this to protect our garment and protect our heat press. You don't want to accidentally get vinyl or ink or rhinestones or anything stuck to your heat press. So using a sheet like this keeps everything safe. It's a safety precaution for both the garment and the press. But what I did there was just a 5-second pre-press. What does that do? Irons it out, makes it smooth, gives us a good, nice surface to work with. Now, the first thing that I always like to do is I like to go with the largest piece first because that's what's going to determine my height. Okay, 2 fingers from the top, 2 or 3 fingers from the top. That's kind of your rule of thumb. As far as centering, visually go with your neckline. That's a general rule of thumb. You can also go based on the sides. We sell a laser alignment system. You can measure exactly with a ruler. Everyone gets their own way, but I'll tell you, once folks start doing this a lot and often, they're either using a laser alignment system or doing it by eye. That's just the way that people are doing it. But in the beginning, use a ruler if you want to make yourself feel more comfortable, of course. There's my proof. Right, officially on the shirt, proof. This is what it's going to look like. I love it. So how do I do this? This is FDC brand vinyl. What's cool about this is FDC does a 1-second tack. And the peel, when you peel it up hot like this, it peels up there's no effort in that. I've used other vinyls where I'm sitting here and I'm stretching out the shirt. I'm accidentally lifting pieces and having to put it back down. If you're working with a stretchy type of garment too, a polyester, a thin polyester, now you're stretching the design and it's more work for you. It really is. And then we're going to do the second piece right on top. We'll line this one up. How do we know how to line it up? I mean, it's visual. We saw what the artwork needs to look like, right? But for the most part, pick a couple points in your design, that line up. So for example, I don't want to lift this up since I'm tacking it down, but let me show you kind of what I mean by that. There we go. So if you look here, right, and all on here, I'm looking to find the points in the shirt that line up. So say like these lines right here, how they line up. Letters maybe might be how it line up. You might have, like I said, that cheer example. You just line up, if the H and the R line up those lines, make sure it's straight across. It's not too hard. There's not rocket science, as they say. So anyway, we take this, and now we're going to give this a quick tack down. I'm just going to do 1 second again. The reason I'm only going to do the 1 second again this time is because I've got some parts of this that overlay. See on this star up here, it overlays. A couple pieces it overlays. So what I mean by that is my paper is partially through. So if you can see, you can't see it, I can, but there's a tiny little line right there in that star from where this paper was. But since I only tacked it down, it's not cured. When I go to actually cure this, it's going to iron all that out. So now we just do 10 seconds. Shouldn't you have used this mark? Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be good and do it. Oftentimes I do it. I just don't do it. But I'm also not doing hundreds of these a day. As you're doing 100 shirts a day, that's where you're likely to make a mistake by accident and get something stuck to your heat press. Now you gotta wait for it to cool off, and you got a razor blade, and you're trying to scrape it off, and you're not trying to scratch the surface, etc., etc. The Teflon sheets will save you a lot of time. So here we go. Oh, went fuzzy. Focus. There we go. So here we are. Here's our disco party shirt. Very cool, very fun. Let's see. Yeah, here's the one I made earlier. Same shirt. Same shirt, different shirt, same design, I should say. This one is a jersey shirt. This one was an anvil shirt. And let me show you. So here's our shirt. So it's a lot of fun to make this stuff. I think it's cool. I enjoy it. There's two different fonts, obviously, because this font I did on a different computer that had different fonts on it. I could have saved that and moved it over, but I remade it for you guys, so it doesn't really matter. Let me show you what else I did, something that's cool besides this. Right here. This is a sticker material that you can buy for the cutter, and I take that same exact design. I didn't mirror it because I just cut it differently. I ran it through my sticker material cutter, and I stuck that right onto here. And this stuff lasts really good. It doesn't rub off easily. It's good for indoor and outdoor and all types of stuff. This is another cool way that you can do different things with the same designs. And I'll show you something else cool. Here's just some versatility stuff because the cutter does so much. All right. This is a piece of cardstock, and I used this pen tool that comes with it. So you can actually put a pen in that machine. Put the pen tool in, and I penned out this, and then I put a blade on it, and I cut that out. So that's just literally just a piece of cardstock that I ran through the machine. So that's something cool that you can do. They even sell colors on these pens, I'm pretty sure. So that's a fun, neat thing you can do. I mean, your imagination's the limit with this machine. So you can do this. You can do this super tiny lettering, right? You can do caps. So that's a glitter on top of an opaque. You can do these pattern designs. So that's a black glitter with this pink polka dot. What else do we have? Oh, I know something cool to show. This is a shirt I did a little while back, but we took the glitter material, and we also took a flock material and made a rhinestone template. So you can actually get rhinestone software and rhinestone template material and make rhinestone templates out of this cutter. Same thing, different material. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking a template. Let me find a cool one. Here we go. You cut out a template out of this material, and you put it on a workstation, and you actually just brush rhinestones on top of it. They fall into the template, and you end up with a rhinestone transfer. So you can do that with this setup. That's probably the biggest add-on in regards to the things you need to buy and the cost of that add-on, but you can do that too. So you can do really small lettering. You could do all types of different materials and garments. You can use a pen tool. You can also, if you do embroidery, you can use this to cut twill material and cut out applique. So you can actually cut out, you know, little pieces. I'll see if I have one of those handy. I'd show you. I don't have a cut one, but you can cut material like this, a twill material. And you can actually cut this and use it for making applique embroidery. This machine is the most versatile thing you're going to own. I just guarantee it. It's going to be the easiest thing to learn. Oh, you caught me. Look at my garbage can on the floor there. I didn't bring one. Okay. But that's it. So thanks again for watching us make this shirt. And the same thing with making that sticker, same process, just a different material. And that's it. So go to our website, colemanandcompany.com. Here's how you spell it. Go to our website. You'll see it in the links that you got emailed as well. Call us if you have questions about this system. If you just need a cutter, if you need a whole setup, if you just need a heat press, if you just need vinyl. You know, all of it, we've got it all. We're here to help you. Call us, email us, chat with us, and come to another demo if you are interested in learning more and watching us do something different. So thanks for watching, and everyone have a great day.